Have you ever looked at someone and thought they did not suddenly win the lottery? They did not marry into wealth. They did not meet a magical mentor. And yet year after year their life somehow gets smoother. Have you ever felt the opposite? Like you work hard, you stay decent, you keep trying, and yet something invisible keeps making you trip at the last step. Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to keep this painfully practical. If you truly want life to feel more smooth, you do not need to beg the sky. You do not need to chase lucky dates. You do not need to keep refreshing your horoscope like it is a stock price. You need to open a few inner switches that most people keep turned off without realizing it. Here are the two main ideas we will keep returning to. First, what people call luck is often the visible result of invisible causes. Second, when you open the right inner switches, the world does not instantly become perfect, but your path becomes less angled because you stop planting the same hidden causes that create struggle. Let me tell you a story, because stories make this real. There was a man I will call Aaron. If you looked at his resume, you would think nothing was wrong. Stable job, capable, not lazy, not cruel. In social situations he could be pleasant enough, but inside, he felt like he had been walking through thick mud for years. Every time he tried to move forward, something happened. He would apply for a promotion, and then a sudden policy change would freeze hiring. He would start a side project, and then a partner would disappear. He would try to build a relationship, and then the person would say he felt distant or unpredictable. He would get a good month financially, and then the car would break down or a family expense would appear. Aaron started using a sentence that sounded casual but was actually a confession. I guess I just do not have luck. At first, he said it like a joke. Later, he said it like a verdict. And once a verdict enters your mind, it starts shaping everything. Because you stop looking for causes and you start worshiping the idea of fate. So Aaron did what many people do when they feel powerless. He went searching outside himself. He asked people about lucky rituals. He watched videos about manifesting. He listened to motivational speakers who promised that if you think hard enough, reality will obey. He even went to a few fortune tellers. He did not want to admit it, but he was desperate. He wanted a guarantee that life would stop pushing back. And he risked the cruel twist. The more Aaron searched for external luck, the more he felt unlucky, because every external method subtly reinforced one belief. The belief was that his life was controlled by something outside him, and he was too small to influence it. If you live inside that belief, you will always feel anxious, because when you believe you cannot influence causes, you can only beg for outcomes. Then one evening Aaron met an older neighbor at a community event. The neighbor was not flashy, not dramatic, just steady. The kind of person who listens more than he talks. The kind of person whose eyes feel calm, like they are not constantly searching for proof. Aaron ended up sitting next to him and complaining. He did not call it complaining. He called it being honest. I work hard, Aaron said, but nothing flows. Some people just have luck. I do not. The neighbor listened and then said something simple. Maybe you are not unlucky. Maybe your switches are off. Aaron laughed because it sounded too simple. The neighbor continued. People think the world rewards them randomly, but most of what you call luck is the fruit of causes. The question is not whether luck exists. The question is what causes you keep planting without noticing. Aaron felt a mixture of irritation and relief. Irritation because he wanted a miracle. Relief because causes meant possibility. The neighbor said, if you want life to become smoother, you do not need to worship fate. You need to open a few switches inside you. They are not magical. They are ethical and psychological. In Buddhist language, they are karma in action. Aaron leaned forward, and this is where the story becomes yours. Because the neighbor described 5 switches, not as a list to memorize, but as 5 doorways that change the way your life unfolds. When these switches are turned on, your choices become cleaner, Your relationships become stronger. Your mind becomes steadier. You stop creating unnecessary obstacles. And opportunities start finding you because you become the kind of person opportunities can safely land on. The first, which was steady effort. Not frantic effort. Not desperate effort. Not burnout effort that tries to win in 1 week what takes a season. Steady effort. The neighbor said something that Aaron did not expect. Most people do not fail because they are not talented. They fail because they do not stay with anything long enough for causes to mature. This is basic karma. Seeds do not become trees because you screamed at the soil. Seeds become trees because you water them consistently. Aaron wanted to argue. He felt like he had tried many things. But the neighbor asked him a sharp question. How many of your efforts lasted long enough to become a habit? Aaron went silent. He realized his effort pattern was like this. He would become excited, go hard for a week or two, then hit boredom or fear, then quit, then feel ashamed, then distract himself, then start again with a new method. His life felt unlucky because he was constantly resetting to zero. Steady effort means you keep a small promise every day. Small enough to keep, strong enough to build you. It is not about heroism. It is about continuity. In Buddhist practice, this is similar to daily cultivation. The mind changes through repetition. Compassion becomes natural through repetition. Clarity becomes stable through repetition. Steady effort is an act of respect toward cause and effect. Aaron tried it in one small area first. He chose walking. Nothing fancy. Every day after dinner, he would walk for 20 minutes. No matter what. Not because walking would fix his whole life, but because he needed to rebuild trust with himself. He needed to prove to his own mind that he could keep a promise. The first week felt easy. The second week felt boring. The third week felt annoying. The fourth week felt normal. That is the point. When something becomes normal, you stop negotiating with it. After 2 months, Aaron noticed something strange. His mind was less chaotic. He slept better. He had slightly more patience in the morning. And because he felt a little better, he started doing better at work without forcing it. That is how steady effort becomes luck. Not through magic, but through momentum. The second switch was authenticity. The courage to keep doing what is true to you instead of trying to become a copy of someone else. The neighbor said, many people are unlucky because they spend their life walking on someone else's path. This hit Aaron hard, because Aaron had been chasing whatever looked successful. If one friend made money in real estate, Aaron wanted real estate. If another friend found a partner through an app, Aaron would ride the same app with the same approach. If a famous influencer said morning routines create wealth, Aaron tried to imitate the routine. He was always following, always adjusting himself to external trends, always trying to predict what the world wanted. And because he was always imitating, he never built a stable identity. People around him felt that instability. Employers felt it. Friends felt it. Partners felt it. Authenticity does not mean stubbornness. It does not mean you refuse to learn. It means you stop betraying your own nature just to win approval. In a spiritual sense, authenticity is related to right intention. If your intention is to be seen as impressive, you will shape-shift constantly. If your intention is to be honest and useful, you will become stable. Aaron realized he had never asked a simple question. What am I actually good at? And what do I actually care about? When I stopped trying to impress people, he took time to reflect. He remembered that as a teenager he loved teaching. He would help friends understand subjects. He liked explaining things clearly. He liked being the person who made complicated ideas feel simple. He had buried that part of himself because it did not sound glamorous. So he started turning the authenticity switch on in a practical way. He volunteered to mentor new employees at work. He offered to run a small training session. He stopped pretending he wanted management just for status. He started leaning into his real strength, clarity and support. And something changed. People started noticing him in a different way. not as a person chasing a title, but as a person who brings value. This is another form of luck. When you stop pretending, you become reliable. Reliability attracts trust. Trust attracts opportunity. The third switch was kindness. Not the weak kind that lets people step on you. Not the performative kind that posts generosity for applause. Kindness as a stable inner posture. The neighbor said something that might sound idealistic, but it is brutally practical. If you want your life to flow, do not make enemies for free. Kindness reduces unnecessary conflict. Kindness creates goodwill. Kindness builds invisible support around you. And goodwill is one of the strongest forms of protection in life. In Buddhist language, kindness is both compassion and the creation of wholesome karma. When you act with care, you plant seeds that come back as support, sometimes from the same person, sometimes through a completely different channel. Aaron was skeptical. He thought he was already a decent person. Then, the neighbor asked him, "How do you treat people when you are stressed?" That question revealed the truth. Aaron was polite when calm, sharp when pressured. He would send cold messages. He would blame. He would complain. He would make jokes that were actually small insults. He did not think it mattered. He thought everyone does it. But these small actions create big results over time. Because people remember how you make them feel. They may not confront you, but they will quietly stop helping you. They will stop recommending you. They will stop opening doors. Kindness is not only moral, it is strategic in the deepest way. It aligns you with fewer obstacles. Aaron began with one small practice. Each day, one private act of kindness. No posting, no telling, just doing. He helped a co-worker with no expectation. He called his mother and listened without trying to win the conversation. He apologized when he was wrong, without adding a speech. At first it felt unnatural. His ego wanted to be right. His ego wanted to be admired. But slowly, kindness became a new habit. And then something happened. A co-worker he had helped months earlier recommended him for a project. That project became a stepping stone in his career. Aaron called it luck. The neighbor called it fruit. The fourth switch was believing in karma, in cause and effect, not as superstition, but as a living reality that shapes your destiny. The neighbor said, "People who do not believe in cause and effect behave like children playing with fire. They act first and then cry when they get burned." Believing in karma does not mean you become paranoid. It means you become responsible. It means before you speak, you consider whether your words plant peace or plant poison. It means before you make a decision, you consider whether the seed you are planting will grow into regret. It means you stop acting like consequences are unfair surprises. Aaron realized he had a habit of doing small reckless things and then blaming fate for the outcome. He would procrastinate and then feel unlucky when deadlines crushed him. He would ignore health and then feel unlucky when his body felt tired. He would lie slightly to avoid discomfort and then feel unlucky when trust weakened. Once he saw this pattern, something changed. He stopped asking, "Why is this happening to me?" He started asking, "What did I plant that made this likely?" That question is wisdom. It is the beginning of awakening. Because awakening is not only a mystical experience. Awakening is seeing reality clearly enough to stop harming yourself and others. Aaron began to treat daily life as practice. When he felt anger rising, he remembered that anger is a seed. If he plants it through speech, it will grow into conflict. If he notices it and breathes, it can dissolve. When he felt craving, he remembered that craving is a seed. If he plants it through impulsive spending, it will grow into stress. If he pauses, the craving loses power. This is meditation off the cushion. It is mindfulness in action, and it changes destiny. The fifth switch was discipline, self-regulation, the ability to hold your energy instead of leaking it into every impulse. The neighbor said, "Without discipline, your life becomes controlled by moods. And a life controlled by moods cannot be smooth. Because moods are weather. This is not about becoming rigid. It is about becoming free. When you cannot control your attention, you are a slave to distraction. When you cannot control your tongue, you are a slave to anger. When you cannot control your appetite, you are a slave to craving. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is protection. In Buddhist training, discipline is often connected to precepts, ethical restraint. Not because rules make you holy, but because restraint reduces regret. When regret is low, the mind settles. When the mind settles, wisdom appears. When wisdom appears, you suffer less and you harm less. That is the whole path in one chain. Aaron had always thought discipline meant misery, but the neighbor reframed it. Discipline means choosing the long term over the short term. Because you respect your future self. Aaron chose one area, his phone. He realized his attention was being shredded every night by endless scrolling. He would sleep late, wake tired, perform worse, feel unlucky, then scroll more to escape. So he set a boundary, phone off at a certain hour. At first, it felt like withdrawal. He felt restless. He felt empty. Then he discovered something important. The emptiness was not his enemy. The emptiness was space. Space where he could finally hear his own mind. Space where he could finally rest. Within weeks, his sleep improved. His mornings became clearer. He started showing up to life with steadier energy. Luck? No. Now, here is the most important part. The neighbor told Aaron that these 5 switches are not separate tricks. They are one system. Steady effort gives you accumulation. Authenticity keeps you on the right path, not a borrowed path. Kindness builds goodwill and reduces unnecessary enemies. Belief in cause and effect makes you careful and wise. Discipline protects your energy and keeps you stable. And when these 5 cooperate, your life becomes smoother because you stop creating chaos with your own hands. Aaron asked a question that I think many of you are asking right now. If these switches are so important, why do people ignore them and keep chasing luck? The neighbor answered, because chasing luck feels easier than changing yourself. It feels easier to ask the sky than to watch your own mind. That is the honest answer. It is easier to beg for a blessing than to hold your tongue when you are angry. It is easier to buy a lucky charm than to keep a promise for 90 days. It is easier to blame fate than to admit you planted the seed. But here is the good news. Because these switches are internal, they are always available. No one can take them from you. Even if your environment is difficult, you can still open a switch. Even if your past is heavy, you can still open a switch. Even if you feel behind, you can still open a switch today. Now let me deepen this, because a long video is not only about giving advice. It is about helping you feel the truth in your bones. There is a reason these switches work. They align you with the basic structure of reality. Reality rewards consistency. Reality responds to sincerity. Reality reflects the mind you bring into it. If you bring chaos, you will find chaos. If you bring steadiness, you will find steadiness. If you bring hostility, you will meet obstacles. If you bring kindness and clarity, obstacles still exist, but they become workable. In spiritual terms, this is the relationship between mind and world. In Buddhist terms, it is dependent origination. Conditions arise together. Your inner conditions shape how outer conditions unfold. That does not mean you control everything. It means you influence far more than you think. Now I want to tell you how Aaron's life changed in a way that looked like fate. About a year after meeting the neighbor, Aaron did not become rich overnight. He did not become famous. He did not become problem-free. But his life became smoother. He had fewer conflicts at work because he spoke with more care. He gained trust because he kept small promises. He got opportunities because people felt he was stable. His relationships improved because kindness replaced sarcasm. His finances improved because discipline reduced impulsive choices. And perhaps the biggest change was inside. He stopped feeling cursed. He stopped feeling like he needed to beg reality. He started feeling like he could plant causes and accept results with dignity. That is awakening in daily life. It is not fireworks. It is freedom. Now I want to offer you a reflection you can do right now without turning this into a checklist. Ask yourself, which switch is most off in my life right now? Maybe you are kind but inconsistent. Then your switch is steady effort. Maybe you work hard but you keep imitating others. Then your switch is authenticity. Maybe you are disciplined but you are harsh. Then your switch is kindness. Maybe you try to be good but you still act recklessly and then blame fate. Then your switch is cause and effect. Maybe you believe all the right ideas but your habits leak energy every day. Then your switch is discipline. Pick one switch. 1. Turn it on for 30 days. Not with a dramatic vow that you cannot keep. With a small daily action. Small enough to keep, strong enough to change you. And here is the spiritual secret behind that. When you keep one small vow, you build self-respect. Self-respect stabilizes the mind. A stable mind makes clearer choices. Clear choices create better karma. Better karma creates smoother condition. Smoother conditions make it easier to practice. Then practice deepen. Compassion grows. Wisdom increases. And your destiny continues to turn. That is the spiral upward. Now I want to speak to your heart for a moment. Because many people listening carry a quiet pain. They feel like they have tried. They feel tired. They feel ashamed that they are still stuck. If that is you, listen carefully. You do not need to fix your entire life today. You need to stop begging for luck and start planting causes. And planting causes is simple. One honest action, one disciplined boundary, one kind response, one steady effort, one moment of authenticity, one pause before you speak, one breath before you react. Those moments are small, but they are the hinges of destiny. Because destiny is not one giant event. Destiny is the accumulation of thousands of small choices. That is why spiritual practice is not separate from ordinary life. The path is built in ordinary moments. When you choose kindness in traffic, you are practicing. When you choose discipline with your phone, you are practicing. When you choose honesty in a hard conversation, you are practicing. When you choose steady effort instead of quitting, you are practicing. This is the middle way. Not extreme self-denial, not extreme indulgence, just wise alignment. Now I want to close with a personal-sounding reflection, not as a claim about my private life, but as a pattern I have seen in so many human lives. People who look lucky often have one invisible habit. They do not waste energy blaming fate. They put that energy into planting causes. They keep turning on the switches, even when they feel tired. And that is why their life becomes smoother. Not because they are chosen by the universe, because they choose clarity again and again. So here is my invitation to you. In the comments, tell me which switch you want to turn on first. Steady effort, authenticity, belief in cause and effect, discipline. And if you have a story about a time your life started flowing after you changed one inner habit, share it. Your story might become the turning point for someone else who feels cursed right now. If this talk helped you, please support the channel. Subscribe so we can keep going deeper together. Like the video so it reaches more people who need grounded wisdom. And leave a comment so this space becomes a real community. Closing words. Do not beg the sky for a smoother road. Open the switches that make your feet steady. Plant causes with wisdom. Live with compassion. And let your destiny turn one day at a time.
Life gets noisy. Work, stress, expectations. Sometimes we lose touch with the quiet part of ourselves. Bracelet isn't just an accessory. It's a small reminder that you deserve peace. You deserve moments of stillness. You deserve to hold on to your inner balance. If one of these bracelets speaks to your heart, You'll find the purchase link in the description below. And even more auctions available on our channel's shop page. Ik hone the one that feels right.